Hey, what's up everybody? I was planning to do this video on just one thing I watched on a video from someone I subscribed to, but I just watched another one from another guy I subscribed to. And those two people I'm talking about are 1427 Wise Guy and SETV Sean View Entertainment, or SVTV or whatever, you know. And the two stories they're talking about are wrestling related in a big way. Yesterday, Wise Guy reported or did a two-part video on Jeff Hardy. I didn't see the second part yet, but the first part primarily looked at what could happen, with Jeff Hardy, or it looked at the positives, the fact that honestly, he said, we really don't know who Jeff Hardy is, so we can't really judge the guy and everything, knowing that he has a family now and maybe he's cleaned up his act. But what he was reporting at is what could happen. Now, like I said, I didn't see the second part of the video. And right now, as we speak, if not already been done, depending on the fact that it's on the East Coast, Jeff Hardy appeared or is appearing in court as we speak today for the 4 felonies that he's been accused of. Now, these are felonies that, if you watch them, if you read them up, look them up online, are the ones that cause you to are the kind that would cause somebody like a Jeff Hardy to spend time in prison. Now, nobody really knows if by the end of today we're going to find out if it was postponed or what's going to happen. Now, the question is though, what happens with Jeff Hardy? What happens with him? Because right now Jeff Hardy is TNA's current world champion. And TNA is looked at, even though it's not as big as WCW was, but it's looked at as the second biggest promotion in the country today, or in the wrestling business today. So the question is, what happens to Jeff Hardy if he is found guilty? Well, apparently if he's found guilty, he's going to go to jail, but what happens to the TNA World title? Well, here's something a little off topic, but it's sort of related in a situation. TNA released Hamada, who was one half of the TNA Tag Team Champions, from her contract. So now I guess Hamada is back in Japan. So what they're doing right now is they're having a tag team tournament. And for the next few weeks, leading up to Genesis, I guess, to crown new TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions. And apparently they're going to explain the situation on Thursday as to why we're having this. Now, the reason I say this is because if Jeff Hardy is found guilty and Jeff Hardy has to go to prison for a few years or whatever, then TNA is going to have to explain, or at least finally break kayfabe and really shoot with Dixie Carter and Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, not in character but as themselves, as the representatives of this company, explaining the situation and as to why tonight, or whenever they do it, they're going to have a tournament to crown a new TNA World Champion. I mean, this is the way I look at it. If Jeff Hardy is found guilty, what they're going to have to do is probably have a tournament, or they're going to either have to have a tournament like they did before, or they can do it, or they can go the route that WWE did at Survivor Series in '98, at WrestleMania in '88, and that is basically have a one-night tournament to crown a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. It would probably be the best option. But that's the way I would have to go if Jeff Hardy's found guilty and they have to strip him of the title. Because they can't just have Jeff Hardy hold on to the title while he's in jail. Now, I know what you're also thinking. Well, they could put the title on Anderson, they could put the title on Morgan, they could put the title on Rob Van Dam. Maybe they could do that. Or they could take what is being known as a #1 contenders match between Morgan and Anderson at Genesis and make that into a world title match for the vacant world title. That would make sense too. Any one of those scenarios would work. But again, we don't know what's really going to happen. I mean, knowing Hulk Hogan and knowing Eric Bischoff and the fact that they have outside of the ring, off-screen, non-storyline wise and all that, knowing that they kind of have the ear of Dixie Carter, non-storyline wise, they might try their best along with Dixie to make sure, Hardy doesn't go to jail, and that perhaps he could just do something like community service, or they could pay his bonds or something like that. We don't really know. Knowing TNA and the fact that they would want someone like Jeff Hardy to remain their champion because he's such a big name, they might go in that direction. But then again, like I said, the other options are widely open, or more considerable if he's found guilty and sent to prison, because you could have, like I say, a tournament like you did before, have some matches, tournament matches on Impact, whatnot. Or you could go in the route, like I said, of Survivor Series 98 and of WrestleMania 88, and let's have a one-night tournament to crown a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Or you could take, like I said, Matt Morgan and Ken Anderson's match for the #1 contendership at Genesis and turn that into a world title match as well. So any one of those scenarios could work. But can work for TNA because either they could have a tournament, like I say, starting on Impact and have it conclude at Genesis, or they could go the route of a one-night deal, or have Anderson and Jarrett meet up. Not Anderson and Jarrett, but Anderson and Morgan meet up in the at Genesis and turn the #1 contenders match into a match for the vacant world title. So that could happen. I apologize for the bird in the background, but that could happen. That is something that could happen. There's no doubt about that. Those are three scenarios. Like I said, the first scenario is have qualifying matches, first round, second round matches, whatever, on Impact. Then have your semifinals and final match at Genesis, or do it, like I said, the one-night deal at Genesis. Or, like I said, the third option, which would probably be the more logical option, since the match is already being set up, is to have Mr. Anderson and Matt Morgan meet for the vacant world title, turn the #1 contenders match into a world title match. So, and again, I apologize for the bird in the background. He likes to make noise. I don't know why. Excuse me for a second. But that would be the best option, and the best option in the worst case scenario. I think the third option is where they might go if they don't want to go through the tournaments again. Because right now, like I said, they're currently having a tournament to crown new TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions due to the fact that Hamada has been released from TNA, so they have to figure out some way, storyline-wise, to make new champions, to crown new champions. Another thing, now that was just some of what, this is just my response to Wise Guy's video on Jeff Hardy going to jail. Now, Sean's View Entertainment, or SETV, his newest video that I just saw is, is based on a rumored story that he read online a couple of weeks ago. This rumored story is basically the fact that it has to do with WrestleMania. And the fact that since guys like Triple H, Undertaker are on the injured list right now, unsure of when they're going to return, I feel Triple H might return at the Rumble. And as well as the fact that Rock is not doing WWE anymore. And John Cena, we believe they're probably going to have him in the main event. We know they're going to have him in the main event. So the question is, so basically what Sean reported here was the fact that WWE, I guess according to this report that he read online, is desperately pleading with and trying to negotiate with Stone Cold Steve Austin to come back and fight Wade Barrett at WrestleMania in one last match. Basically make Stone Cold Steve Austin the returning hero. Now, from what another person who commented on the video said, Austin is fully recovered from all his injuries, and it reports, according to this person, I don't know if these are just fantasy reports because they want to see Austin back, just for these reasons, just for the fact that they hope maybe that would reinstitute the Attitude Era. But according to this person that commented on the video, they say he's fully recovered and that he doesn't want to be part-time, he wants to be full-time. Well, I don't actually, I'm a Stone Cold fan, there's no doubt about it. But even I find it hard to believe that Austin want to go full-time again. So I think that's just a fantasy on somebody else's part. But, Stone Cold being asked to come back and compete in one more match against Wade Barrett at WrestleMania would be a great draw for the WWE, because Stone Cold would be able to be the conquering hero, and he'd be the one guy that Nexus never thought they'd have to face. Now, or hope they never faced. So, that would be a great draw, because the heat, the overheat that Wade Barrett and Nexus have right now, for someone like Stone Cold, who's over no matter how you look at him, to come back and beat Wade Barrett in the ring, stun him in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, and be rid of Nexus, not only would, I guess in the eyes of WWE, make WrestleMania a success, but it'd be making it very memorable as well. But you also got to look at the fact that they're having it in Atlanta, right? They're having it in Atlanta, and the one person besides Austin they've been trying to tote or trying to pursue and get back in the ring for at least one more match is Goldberg. Because you got to remember, it's in Goldberg's hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. It's in the same venue, the same building, the same arena, the same stadium, if you will, that he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Hulk Hogan. So to me, I think if you wanted to bring somebody back, if you couldn't get a hold of Austin, I believe what WWE is probably going to do if they can't get a hold of Austin is get Goldberg to come in and take out Nexus. Because let's face facts, Nexus is taking down just about everybody with ease, but as we know, storyline-wise and everything, it has to take a unique group and a unique person to try to injure or take down Goldberg, because everyone else just gets destroyed. So I believe if they can't get Austin and no one is in Atlanta, Georgia, they probably try to get Goldberg. Because think about it, yeah, Austin stunning and pinning Wade Barrett and thus ridding the WWE of Nexus would get a huge pop, a thunderous pop. But if Goldberg was to do it, if Goldberg was the one that they could bring in, if they can't get Austin, and he was the one to spear and jackhammer Wade Barrett in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, thus winning the WWE of Nexus, not only would that get a thunderous pop, it would probably be the kind of pop that would almost shake the entire stadium, shake the entire building, if you will, almost blow the roof off, if you will. So, I hope if they have to, that they do get Austin. I do hope for that, because that, at least he'd have his one last match, because he's been wanting to have one. But if they can't get him, I'd definitely go with Goldberg like they also plan to do, because like I said, two people like Goldberg and Austin would definitely get thunderous pops, ovations in the arena when they would pin Wade Barrett in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, and get rid of Nexus. So, but these are just my responses to both 1427 Wise Guy's video on Jeff Hardy and Sean View's Entertainment video on Barrett facing a Hall of Famer. Because let's not forget, Goldberg is being touted as one of the top names. Goldberg's name is being touted on top as one of the names for the WCW themed Hall of Fame next year in Atlanta. So that's all I'm going to say in my response. Tell me what you guys think, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.